So they are socially expected to be monogamous.
But they don't succeed.
I won't answer that.
Anyway, today we'll get to the bottom of it, and of course we'll bring you the expert views on it, plus the most important view, yours. So stay for that and other things. But right now, though, let's whittle through those headlines. Whittle them.
Exactly. And so the Business and Financial Times says mining sector holds firm amidst COVID-19 chaos.
All right. By the way, Say It Right is coming up in a moment, right after the headlines. Go on.
And set to better last year's production and revenue to remain intact. Africa will suffer triple shock from COVID-19. That's according to the IMF. And post-COVID-19, Africa must adopt inward-looking trade strategy. Unipass outcomes not working. That's according to freight forwarders.
Okay, and I've got the daily graphic in front of me, but before those headlines, say it right.
Something must be done.
You say either, I say.
Yesterday's Say It Right was rather lengthy. Today's won't be. How do you pronounce this word? Question. I'll give you a hint. It's not question. It's not question either. It's question. You already know what the word means, but did you know it originates from the Latin word querere, which means to ask or to seek? Well, now you know. You also know how to say it right. Any questions?
All right, Coach. So I have a question for you.
Go on then.
And the question is, so Latin.
Uh-huh.
Do anybody? I mean, does anyone speak Latin now? Does anyone speak Latin?
They call it a dead language.
Oh, it's dead now.
That's what they call it. But it's great for reference. It helps you understand why certain words are said or spelt a certain way. So it's a great language to learn. We learned a bit of it in St. Augustine's College.
I didn't learn Latin.
You didn't? Oh,
no.
You missed. All right, news review now brought to you by Interplus. Wherever you are, they make sure water reaches you, even space. And First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different. Of course, you know the First Atlantic Bank has introduced a set of mobile banking apps and a USSD short code, *442# for banking transactions. So now you can download the First Atlantic Ghana mobile app from the Google Play Store or iOS Store, or you could dial *442# for all of your mobile money transactions, instant funds transfers. You can pay bills, you can purchase airtime or data from Airtel, MTN, Glo, and Vodafone, and so much more. Welcome to the Purple Experience on mobile. It is safe, secure, and very simple to use. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different. Now, the Arrive Alive campaign is brought to you every morning by Bedrock Insurance, protecting the things you truly value, and Toyota Ghana Company Limited, Toyota, superior quality. Now, Bedrock is proud to be associated with Joy FM's and Joy News' Arrive Alive road safety tips on the Super Morning Show. Bedrock wants you to arrive alive and do business with them because they believe that the purpose of business is to create value for customers, which is why they're giving you the Bedrock 3 before 3. Claims up to 3,000 Ghana cedis reported before 3 p.m. are paid the same day. Bedrock Insurance, protecting the things you truly value. Now, Toyota Ghana Company Limited is offering a special package on every Toyota Yaris you buy from them. For the purchase of every Toyota Yaris 1.3 or 1.5 litre from Toyota Ghana, you get either a mega discount on price, free fuel, or 1 year of free service with manufacturer's warranty of 3 years, or 100,000 kilometers, whichever comes first. Offer is valid while stocks last. Drive a Toyota made for Ghana from Toyota Ghana and be safe. Visit any of your branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Takwa, or Takrady to enjoy the deal, or just call 0302-910-204. Toyota Ghana Company Limited is proud to be associated with Joy FM and Joy News' Arrive Alive safety tips on the Super Morning Show. Toyota, superior quality. Right, so let's get back to that daily graphic I was talking about. And the banner headline this morning, COVID-19 Trust Fund, NHIA defends donation. But 2 bodies and an individual are alarmed. Security personnel undergo virus test and wear nose mask or stay home. Greater Accra, Shanti enforce directive.
The Daily Guide says Nana wants country-specific COVID-19 measures. And NDC on rampage in Winneba. Engage experts on COVID-19. That's according to the director of Noguchi to the media. And Ghanaians celebrate Chief Imam at 101. And face mask mandatory in Accra.
Right, that was the Daily Guide. This is the Ghanaian Times. Let's adopt local methods to combat COVID-19, President urges ECOWAS leaders. we have enough food. Agric Minister allays fears of food shortage. He also said something else, which I'll mention a bit later. Tema police gunned down 2 armed robbers. COVID-19 police impound 130 motorcycles in Accra, and ADB presents PPE to 3 institutions in Accra. Backpage has these. Refrain from protesting against quarantine facilities, communities urged, and 2 Chinese companies support road ministry with protective gear to fight COVID-19.
And the Ghanaian Observer says, measures to fight COVID-19, let's not copy blindly. Akufo-Addo charges ECOWAS heads, and coronavirus pandemic. Agric Minister dismisses calls to control food prices. Well, he says that they're selling at very affordable prices. Vice President Bawumia Stoll's chief imam describes him as a rare national asset. And Greater Accra Rexeg imposes strict wearing of face masks over coronavirus pandemic. Minister cautions critics against undermining work of Ghana's COVID-19 expert. And Backpage, losing the 2015 AFCON final more painful than not reaching the World Cup semi-finals. That's according to Jonathan Mensah. And Patrick Chumesi discloses Italy and Germany interest. Well, when Ghanaian players want to play for the country, they start telling you about how other countries are interested in getting them to. Then you go for
Imagine
that.
that.
And Lukaku apologizes to Milan over coronavirus claim.
Right, now good morning to all our friends at the new Weekend Crusading Guide. Banner headline this morning, don't copy blindly, Akufo-Addo tells ECOWAS leaders. This is about COVID-19 measures. Accra Zabarma chief to reconstruct mosques for Abu Blushi. Fire outbreak victims. CFAO Motors donate 2 Mitsubishi pickup trucks to COVID-19 fund. Ayawaso West MCE fingered in East Legon land dispute, allegedly sold lands without the consent of Alodia owners. And NPP will win December 2020 elections. That is according to the latest EIU report. That does it.
All right, so let's get into the details. And the Daily Guide talks about Nana wanting country-specific measures. So the president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, while he met with other heads of state of ECOWAS countries, is admonishing them not to just copy blindly, not to look at what's happening in Europe and begin to adopt measures that are being used by these countries in combating COVID-19. He says, look within, look at your specific situation, and look at the measures that will work for you.
Right, and I'm going to quickly go through the details of this NHIA story in the Daily Graphic. Now, so 1 individual and 2 institutions are said to have spoken against the donation, but the NHIA themselves have been explaining why they did it. The chief executive of the NHIA, Dr. Lydia Janselby, was speaking to the Daily Graphic, and she said, I quote, "Ideally, we should have been the ones picking up the bills for the COVID-19 treatment. That is, if everyone was on the scheme, and we had full universal health coverage for COVID-19. Unfortunately, only about 45% of Ghanaians are active members of the National Health Insurance Scheme, and given the emergency nature of the situation, the government is bearing the cost. So we thought it right to support with our widow's mite. The ability to control the COVID-19 pandemic within the country will eventually protect the National Health Insurance Fund in terms of reduced claims from service providers." Okay, so they donated 250,000 Ghana cedis, and this is what is sparking the uproar. This is what Franklin Kujo Obimani, the individual named in the headline, had to say. Under what circumstance did the NHIA give the donation, as it is not an entity that makes profit? Management is yet to indicate where the money came from, but given what is happening to the scheme and how service providers have been struggling to get reimbursed, that gesture is misplaced. That's Franklin Kujo's take. Now, the Private Health Facilities Association of Ghana, their president, Samuel Boache Donko, said that it was bad and painful, this donation. He goes on to say, is it not ironic that the NHIA gives back to the government who just months ago provided the funds for it to settle the debt owed service providers after several desperate appeals that their facilities were in distress? The authority just recently received money from government to help it settle some of the amounts owed us, and they have given that money back to the government. No one is saying that the authorities should not give towards a good cause, but it becomes a problem when the scheme is struggling and service providers are desperately crying for their funds to be paid, some in arrears from as far back as February 2019. Now, CHAG, the Christian Health Association of Ghana, they didn't give an official statement, but some of their members also expressed disquiet and displeasure.
Exactly. But talking about the NHIA bit, when the story, or when people say that, government gave them money, well, the NHIA has the National Health Insurance Levy, which, 2.5%. So when you and I purchase goods, we pay that levy.
Yes.
So it is supposed to be given to them by government. One of the things we need to find out is how government, gives them that money. Is it done regularly?
Yeah.
So if it is not done regularly and government comes and says, we have come to the aid of the National Health Insurance Authority, isn't it their money that government is actually giving back to them? Because the last time NHI had complained that, government had not transferred a lot of the monies that were expected to be given to them to the authority. And so that's another challenge. But they also have said that, look, their corporate social responsibility budget is not even up to 5% of it. So they have a budget for that, and they see it as part of their corporate social responsibility.
The interesting takes on that. The other thing is that they're actually not giving it back to government. This fund, this COVID-19 fund, is supposed to be separate from government resources. It's supposed to be used directly for this fight against COVID-19. It's just, these hospitals are also supposed to be fighting COVID-19. So if you owe them money, it then becomes that sort of debate. Where should the money be sent? What would have been fair to do? What would have been right to do? Well, the NHIA don't feel that they've acted in any way outside their mandate. They do have a budget, like you said, for corporate social responsibility.
Exactly.
So,
and talking about COVID-19, so the BNFT has a story that says post-COVID-19, Africa must adopt inward-looking trade strategy, and that's according to the executive chairman of law firm AB and David Obusu-Dotte. His point is that, so we all know that now we're producing PPEs locally, we're producing face masks locally, we've produced sanitizers locally, and he says even after COVID-19, we shouldn't let all these things go.
Right.
We should continue looking within and producing the things that we need as a country and as a people. And I think that's a very important, advice to the country and trade sector, industrial sector. That we should be looking at producing the things that we need, Kojo.
Okay, now let's do the online review real quick before I bring up that thing that's on my mind. And the online review is brought to you by Zenith Bank in your best interest and Goyle Good Energy. Of course, to all valued customers of Goyle, they want you to know how much they value the relationship that they built with you over the years. So let's keep ourselves free of the coronavirus disease and keep our stations safe by observing these. 1. Cover your mouth with tissue when you cough and dispose of the tissue immediately. 2. Wash your hands with soap and running water, which have been provided at all service stations, especially when you handle money. You can also, number 3, use an alcohol-based sanitizer if you're not in position to wash your hands. 4. Maintain a minimum distance of 1.5 meters with other customers and or attendants. 5. Let's observe simple protocols together to defeat the COVID-19 virus. 6. If you exhibit any symptoms, don't head to the hospital immediately. Just call the hotlines and ask for help on COVID-19 hotline 055 222, 055 2222 004 or 055 2222 005. Okay, these are the headlines on myjoyonline.com. But before that, banking from home just got exciting. Here's how. Zenith Bank have waived their charges on electronic banking platforms to support you reduce your use of physical cash during these challenging times of COVID-19. So enjoy free transfer of funds and free payments from your Zenith account to any bank account via ACH and GIPS Instant Pay. Back from the safety of your homes. Bank from the safety of your homes. Stay safe with Zenith Bank's digital banking products. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. Okay, here we go. MyJournalline.com. COVID-19 decisions must not be guided by political or parochial considerations. Mahama to Akufo-Addo. Also on myjournalline.com. National Security spearheads enforcement of face mask protocol. Church of Pentecost offers convention facility as isolation center. GFA boss Kurt Okriku has changed nothing, according to Osei Palmer. There are other stories online. CityNews.com has these. Akufo-Addo's economy in ICU after a month of coronavirus, according to John Mahama. And 2020 polls, EIU predicts win for NPP again, despite COVID-19 threat. All right. Now, let's take these messages, and then we'll come back and I'll tell you what's on my mind. Well, I'll give you a hint right now. It's about plantains. We're back after these.
Star 442 hash is the new mobile banking formation in town. It's simple, convenient, quick,